Yep.
Okay, it is 7:01. We're going to call this meeting, the regular board meeting for September. The order at 7:01. At this time, if you would remove your hats, we'll have a word of prayer. Our precious Heavenly Father, thank you today, Lord, for each and everything that you do for us. Lord, I pray that you'd be at this board tonight, be with the people that are here. Lord, let us go through the business the way that you want us to. Lord, we pray that you'd just give us the guidance for that. Lord, we just pray that you'd be with these teachers, administration, students, as we go through these next few weeks and the school year coming up. Lord, I pray that you keep your guiding hand over them and comfort them when they need it and protect them when they need it. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, next thing we've got is Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible. Honor and respect to the flag. I pledge allegiance to thee.
Thank y'all. Okay. That scared the heck out of me today. Put it that way when I walked up here. I forgot what was happening. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome all of y'all to Savoy, the new ones. I know you've been here for a little while. Some of you heard me up for the first of the year. The guy over here in the checkered shirt over here in the corner is our city mayor. That will be Joe Petrie. So if you would, you can take his hand and drop to him if you live within the city limits.
Hey, he got the hose field going to the football field
Okay,
today.
very good. Okay, with that, I think the next thing on our agenda is the introduction of our new hires, and I'm gonna turn that over to our superintendent.
Okay, well, I'm gonna turn it over to our principals. Mr. Henderson, you wanna go first and introduce your new crews?
I think I got a couple not here, but I know some of them are here. Make sure I don't miss anybody, it's a big crowd. Coach Fagan, where's he at? Oh, there he is. He's teaching math for us and also coaching our coaching duties. Teaching sixth grade for us, doing a great job so far. Got Miss Case, stand up. She's in our sped department, with Miss Peeler. I think Miss Peeler, let's see her come in. What else we got? Johnson somewhere. There he is. Coach Johnson. Doing a great job for us at PE right now. Kind of transformed that climate the last 4 or 5 weeks. So we're proud of what he's coming and done. He's also coaching.
There's a little redhead running around out there that loves Coach Johnson. Lila, my daughter loves him, and if she's acting bad or getting in trouble at home, we're calling Coach Johnson, no daddy, no daddy, and he is doing awesome.
And we got another staff member that's out sick, Miss Harford, as well as teaching for the social studies. That's our new staff for elementary.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't miss anybody. Speak up. I did.
Mr. Cates, you wanna go next?
We've got a lot of new staff as well. We get Coach Clapp. Coming here, Coach Clapp's teaching history. And Coach Bond. I mean, he's been working for 3 months now, so you've probably seen him out here. Mr. Lester is also out here. Come on in.
Great
Again,
dance.
he is doing great things with that. Got a bunch of kids and just working on getting projects lined out. Just got back from 4 states there, so he's busy and going. This is Mr. Morelli. Mr. Morelli is teaching math and robotics. He just had a robotics competition on Saturday. We are in the thick of everything. There's no time off. We got a great science tandem here. This is Mrs. Guzman and Coach Guzman. Been working. Coach Guzman been working here for a long time. So he's not new. He's probably the most senior that we've got in high school. Mrs. Morris is our curriculum and instruction director, doing a great job getting our data lined out, getting everything imported on Dark Scores and talking to Cinder to Cambium to all of these learning management systems that she's doing a ton right there. Back there, Ms. Brinley's teaching English, junior high and high school level English, transitioning from elementary to junior high and high school. So she's doing a great job keeping everything moving. Doing really, really, really well. Ms. Williams, our secretary, the heartbeat of everything that goes on. She was gone for 10 days and I mean, we just kept making a pop. Like you can deal with it when you get back. Working our way back, Coach Townsend. Coach Townsend is also teaching English. He's our boys basketball coach, coaching football right now too. He's been instrumental. Also, there may be a hint of some esports coaching, depending on how that goes. So there's been a lot of good things right there. Coach Bates is teaching a leadership class. He's teaching speech. He's coaching right now, coaching cross country. They've already been to 3 meets and getting those kids, they're knocking times off just week after week, getting better and better. So we've been doing a great job in the classroom, great job with leadership. The marquee that's out there, it gets changed every Monday. That's the 4th period leadership class. So there's misspellings. That's on me. They just do a report, but that's them. And Coach Henderson stepping up. She is doing great things in volleyball. She's helped in so many areas and taking care of our dual credit kids and our credit recovery kids as well. Ms. Myers in the library is just got a passion for those kids that come in, keeping everything organized. She got demoted for 10 days and had to work in the office, but she took it with the grace. She was very, very sweet about it. I think it might cover a lot of people as well. So there's a bunch, but we've got a lot of good things happening, lots of change happening, and thank you all for putting a lot of trust in us to get them hired and for us to train them up. So thank y'all, Mr. Morris, and for all y'all. Appreciate what y'all are letting us do, letting this community get ready to tackle whatever comes at us.
Thank you all for coming. All the new hires, thank you so much for being here and joining us. And if you would like to, you're now free to go. Okay, we're and watch all the good stuff too. But really, really, thank you guys for coming. And we're so glad you're here.
Thank each and every one of y'all for being here. We're looking forward to y'all working with our kids, and that's a big thing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Ma. Ma.
See you guys.
Oh, sorry.
Next thing we've got is student and teacher of the month. So let's find out who we got.
I've got 2 here tonight. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Weeks first. Come up here, Raiden. Raiden is one of our 6th graders. He just ran for our student council elections, and he is now our new president of our student council. So one of definitely the reasons why I chose him as our student of the month. There's a lot of other things that Raiden does. Raiden was a new student for us last year as a 5th grader. So for his class to have that much confidence in him to vote for him as president, I thought was pretty amazing in itself. He's also one of our gifted and talented students as well. And he's playing football on the junior high team. As I think has their first game this week, right? Yeah, second game this week, sorry. And he's planning to play basketball, he told me, right? Yeah, some things the teachers had to say about him. They admire his zest for learning. I didn't come up with that word, by the way. And he's a joy to have in class, and they once again brought up the fact, I think 2 of the 4 teachers brought up the fact that he's a friend to all, which is obvious with him being the student council president after really 1 year. We had our student council elections right at the beginning of this year. So we've chosen Mr. Weeks as our student of the month.
Very good.
Donna. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I'm trying to get your attention.
The plaques in the background.
Cardinal behind.
Congratulations.
You want to take his spot here, Ray?
Yeah.
Take his spot, Dave, now.
Then we got our teacher of the month is Miss Allen. If you'll come on up. Let me brag about you a little bit. So we have had an interesting journey. Miss Allen is our pre-K teacher. Pre-K is always an interesting journey for the first few weeks of school, because it's the first time those 4-year-olds are coming in the door. On top of that, we added the 3-year-old program, which you approved over the summer. Well, you only have 1 student there right now, but we started with 2. So we did a lot of things at her. When I got back from the summer, we were sitting at like 12 kids. So we were like excited. We were going to be like, I don't know, maybe 15 at the most. Well, that has not stayed there. So Miss Allen has had a challenge. We are sitting at 23 pre-Kers today. And we've had a pretty challenging 5 weeks as well. We've had some challenging students come in, and we've had the co-op come in to work with her and her staff to kind of adapt. And it's one of the reasons why I chose her as the student of the month, because I know she's been teacher of the month, sorry. As our teacher of the month, because she has adapted to that situation, even with the big numbers and the 3-year-olds. Her class is already excelling, and we chose Miss Allen as our teacher of the month. Congratulations.
All right, our student of the month, not here. All right, so I just sent out a pretty informal request to our teachers about some student suggestions. And we have nominated and elected Miss Jesselyn Philly. She's a 7th grade student. She was active in athletics. She is active in UIL, and she has been a bright spot in her classes and just been positive and just been a great student to be around. So we had more teachers say those kinds of things about her than we had other students. She is the one that she'll be our student of the month, our teacher of the month. So just having conversations with students in the hallway, you hear a ton of stuff about teachers. Just when you're very informal. And when you have students that live in your house, you have a ton of conversations about teachers. And overwhelmingly, when I'd ask students in the hallway, teachers who are just, what was it like last year? How's it different? And overwhelmingly, I just kept hearing, this is just so much fun. Science with Miss Guzman is just so much fun. We are going in, and from the minute we're in and the bell rings, we are learning, we are on task, and they just said that they can't believe that 45 minutes is up so fast. They've made cells, bring in candy. I know that as a former science teacher, it's an excuse to eat candy, but just doing all sorts of things. I'm sorry to hear now. Jesselyn Guzman is our junior high and high school teacher of the month for August.
Okay. Next thing we got on the agenda is the board police presentation.
We just started talking about a month ago with some of the high school principal up there about all the various events that had happened at the end of the year last year, school preps and things of that sort. And we were around to drug-related issues we had at high school, and how basically with 2 full-time officers in Savoy trying to cover some night shifts, weekend shifts, holidays and things like that, it wasn't putting enough attention for the needed at school. We started throwing some numbers around to see if it would be possible. for Boy ISD. The initial cost that we looked at came out pretty high, so we looked at way to trim it back down. And basically came out about $57,000, including the first year salary to implement a school resource officer for Boy High School, for Boy ISD. There's a lot of times where we do not have a school PD officer in the middle of the day on a weekday, because here lately it's been burglaries at night we've been trying to deal with, or various other issues, especially holidays coming up, kind of holiday coverage, things like that, that takes away from school. So that's when we started visiting about what we possibly could do. Boys currently has 2 reserve officers. They're unpaid reserves. They're fully trained, fully certified. They have experience in a variety of ways, and see about possibly utilizing them for the school if there could be a way for to make that happen. So I'll be glad to answer any questions y'all have about it, or anything you think. Like I said, I'm not sure what Chief Noll had planned tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it last minute, so kind of winging it here, but anything else to add to that kind of?
When I met with these guys at the high school and they presented that number, that includes everything,
That's
correct?
everything. That's, that's a patrol vehicle, a used patrol vehicle, equipped, ready to go. That's, like I said, their first year pay. We calculated that the first year teacher pay, basically. That's in the bulk of that, well, all of that, except for pay and benefits, was a first year cost. Everything else is a one-time deal. Yeah, you have that first other cost. That's it. State requires somebody to maintain their license, obviously, so we can do all of that at no call. Anytime that officer did need to be off for sick or vacation, whatever else, we would fill that gap. So what we're looking at, most of that price is the initial equipment you have to get started. It'll be, some kind of a secure office or a secure computer system, so that if they do run somebody's driver's license or something like that, kid not gonna walk by and see confidential information and things like that. But that's.
What number is that? With a possibility, I know y'all were discussing getting a new vehicle for the city of Savoy. Is
Yes.
the other one that, are y'all getting another one? Or are y'all trading one in and with that?
We are keeping our oldest one, the older Tahoe. It could be used some. Whenever one of our physical repairs or one of our current reserve officers use the work shift, something like that.
Okay, I just knew y'all were talking about a new one. I didn't know if that would be put out of commission or if y'all should keep it.
So Jance, what would their starting pay be? Would it be a first year teacher's pay, assuming they hadn't been a teacher someplace or whatever?
Yes, sir.
So they would just start like a first, okay.
I mean, we could give a stipend if you want like an admin.
I mean, obviously, we're not making a decision tonight.
No.
But I would like to know on the CT stuff, how much money, I mean, of course, I guess it depends on how many students enroll. But kind of what we're looking at, getting money back.
Marissa just walked out to check the kids, but she can get on that tomorrow.
And the,
On the ballgame stuff, I've checked with a few other school districts, basically what they've been doing is, anything that goes wrong, yeah, we're. And, use that. Smart house, everybody else.
Well, I guess I would say that you can be a first year teacher, they would be offering some time.
because,
No.
you know, like other teachers are.
We would want, this would be a full-time, like me,
Okay.
we'll be up here.
Okay.
That we can discuss executive.
Sure. This is just their presentation.
So Cody, so like Bell's over there, does their resource, they've got two of them, don't they? I guess over there, I think, but.
They've got the chief and I think they have one.
Right, so do those guys, is that ran through the city of Bells or is it,
No, they're their own police.
Okay. and then I guess Dodge City's is too, because they don't have a city police department,
Yes.
correct?
And then what credit would the kids get? Is it a CTE class then?
Yes, ma'am.
And elective kind of, okay.
Okay, anybody got any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, public forum,
Yes.
hey,
Congratulations, Caitlin.
Bye, guys. See you. Bye, Miss Allen. Do we have any or no? Okay.
this will be for Dana Malugin. You have 3 minutes, Dana, and you're welcome.
I want to thank you all for letting me speak today, and I understand how difficult y'all's job is that I've been through. So I want to voice my opposition to another school bond. He said there is no charge unless you go with the bond. However, that is their job and how they make money. They are supposed to convince you to go for the bond. They tell you how to get voters to vote yes, what to say and what not to say. It seems to me that bonds are the feathers of the hats. I'm sorry, yes, but of superintendents. I was not surprised, a little disappointed, but not surprised to learn that within 6 months of taking the position, there were already luncheons and meetings with the bond company. And then the company come to the meet to meet the board. I also was not surprised when the bond company talked about growth in the area. Savoy ISD is in the position it is in now with trying to maintain 2 campuses because I've talked over 25 years of growth coming to this area. According to that company back then, Savoy should have 800 plus kids now. We are still at 300. Savoy graduated around 20 kids in 1985. We are still averaging around 20 graduates each year now. This year, we graduated 11 students. It is hard to get behind a bond that says the school is running out of classrooms when they are not graduating more students than they did 30 plus years ago. As I mentioned, bonds being feathers in the hat. I live in everything, the fact that almost everything wanted on the last has been completed in 4 years without the added expense of the bond payment or high interest. This means the school was able to complete in 4 years what would have taken taxpayers 20 plus years to pay for. The only thing that has not been done on this track football field, which was mentioned at the last board meeting, has been on because if you're wanting to put the school bond in the school in another 20-year plus bond debt, it includes the track and football field. Why are we spending so much money getting this one redone? New lights, which I'm not complaining about new lights, we need new lights. It's a safety measure, I understand that. Why put more money into it if we're gonna build a new? Having feathers be in the hats, be out of debt, still able to help students and the taxpayers. There's nothing wrong with helping taxpayers by lowering the tax rate. There's nothing wrong with not being in debt for another 25 years. Please, when I have feathers in the hat, be the grants, cyber grants, or, how many grants that we can get, we don't have to pay back. Think outside of the box. Nobody wants that seat. Everybody have their own consolidation. We don't do that. We're not going to think outside of the box. I'm talking not only as one taxpayer, but I get the privilege of paying taxes twice, but only get one vote. Since I'm a business owner, the businesses have no votes whatsoever, but we still have to pay that tax. So I appreciate y'all's time today, and I think my 3 minutes is probably up. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don. At this time, we'll have a public comment. That will close public forum. The next thing on the agenda is consent agenda. Do I hear a motion on consent agenda?
Make a motion to accept consent agenda.
Hear a second. Motion made by Marvin, seconded by Joe to accept the consent agenda as presented. Is there any other discussion?
Can I ask one question? I noticed on the, looking through all the expenditures we had, I know last month we talked about painting the bleachers. What number did we throw out then? I thought we were only throwing out like 3,000 to 5,000 to paint the bleachers, redo all that.
No, it was 5 to 15, I think, wasn't it? That's what we talked about. I don't even know what the number ended up being, but
3 to 15.
yeah.
That was mine.
Then I guess my question is, why was it 25?
We put more in there for that, did we not?
That's what my concern is. To me,
It was
to
20.
me, if we put 25 in there, that should have been something that was budgeted, not just thrown. I mean, 25 is a chunk.
But that came out of
It came
the
out-
previous year's budget. It
Was
was
that last year?
We had leftover.
Okay. I thought that was in this year's, and we were already kind of starting in the hole from this year. Okay,
We earned that, we got it.
Okay. Okay, my bad.
Okay,
Plus, if they were sandblasted and painted rather than just painted, so we're talking about doing.
Well, I know, I understand that part, but I mean, to me, if we're going to suddenly throw out a 25 chunk, that's something that needs to be budgeted in there. I mean, 2 to 3, 5 is a chunk too, but a 25 is a big chunk to me. I mean, that could almost keep us from buying a bus or whatever else we've got planned for the year. We have to push that back another year.
we used last year. All right, any other discussion? All those 6-4, none opposed. We'll move on to reports, elementary, Danny.
I don't have a lot, just a couple of things that were on there. Looking at our attendance looks good. We've had a great start to the school year. We've had some growth in some certain areas that's pushing some of our boundaries, but all in all, we're sitting, we've had 5 new kids come in since the beginning of school. So we're sitting out at 181, which is really good. About what we're expecting coming in. So
And that's pre-K through 6.
it's pre-K through 6. We did get into our beginning of the year map testing. We've got that cardinal time rolling. We got the map scores finalized, and we've speedy days have helped for us to continue to plan for our cardinal times and get those kids in their intervention groups. So we tiered those kids, tier 3, tier 2, and they go on a 45-minute period 4 days a week with our intervention people and the teachers that are in that tier 2, and we do extension activities with the kids that are in the tier 1. So that's in full swing, along with our kids that we have to be high school 45.
You have 129 here.
Yeah, it should be
127.
That's 7 to 12. We have a lot of happenings, and I didn't include everything that has kind of happened since that. We had that professional development day on September the 2nd. We've got. First and second, so we're gonna be hosting that at our campus, so there's a lot of things that we're gonna prepare for and get going. So far, everything is, students are adjusting to a lot of new teachers. And as far as getting, student testing data, we have 14 students that are House Bill 4545 tutorials. And one of the things that we've encountered with a student, for example, an 8th grader that will take 4 of those tests, or a freshman that will take 3 end of course exams, they may qualify for areas in both of those. So they're going to do this 30 hours of intense instruction, and then they're going to turn around and do it again for a different subject area. So, those kids are really doubling up. But as far as getting data and getting things organized, right now, we have a plan in place where before our grade report, we're going to have unit tests. We're going to get that data imported into Eduphoria, and we're going to be able to look at it side by side with their STAR scores and be able to see areas of concern of the unit that we've covered. Whatever that newest unit is, we'll be able to look at that data side by side with STAR scores and see where we need to reteach, where we need to extend, and kind of hopefully we're hitting right on grade level where we need to be. So that's the area. That's the next thing that we're looking at in the next 3 weeks. So we're, I guess, 3.5 weeks out of our 9-week goal on that. So.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sam. All right, athletic.
Oh, well, we're busy volleyball, football, and cross country right now. Cross country was in Trenton this weekend. We have five junior high kids running, 1 high school kid running. Times are improving by 2-3 minutes per kid per event, so they are getting better. You can tell they're putting in the miles. I've seen y'all at the volleyball games. You can see how much we're just improving across the board. From our 7th graders to our seniors. Football, I know y'all saw it. I wish Jacob was still here to be Dave Campbell's team of the week. And his 2nd week ever as being a head coach is a pretty cool deal. Our first varsity win since 2018, and to be recognized on the state level, that's a major accomplishment. That's every 6-man school in the States, and Savoy Cardinals won it. So that's something to be proud of. So thank you guys for letting us go out and get the best people, because the people that were in here today are the best people. We sought them out like we told y'all. And now they're making positive changes here. So another busy week, cross country on Thursday, football on Thursday, and volleyball today, tomorrow, and on Friday. So it's busy.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, Marissa, you can post my stuff on Facebook,
Okay.
everywhere, because people are seeing it, and to me, as long as you can keep everybody informed,
We're trying to,
keep them involved. So
share the good news.
I just wanted to know what's being said.
Okay.
So is it 9 weeks that we're on now? So when does that come up, or so that we look at failing grades that might affect?
Daniel and I had this conversation.
So we
this
have
week.
a line. I've been in contact on the phone with UIL, making sure our calendar. So the UIL says eligibility is still at the 6 weeks. So that on Friday afternoon, that's our grade reporting. So when we get grades, I'm gonna tell these teachers it's vital, even though it's not the end of our reporting period for credits and for things like that. It is vital that we have an up-to-date, accurate count of grades, because when we snapshot that Monday morning at 8 o'clock, that's what determines academic eligibility. So they will have that grace period. They would become ineligible Friday the 23rd at 3:30 p.m. So even though we're on a 9-week calendar, be ineligible after 6, and then we'll have another grade check after 9 where we can gain and lose eligibility there. And we have an updated eligibility calendar that we can.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that.
I've got a question.
It's just been a problem in the past. I mean, that's hurt us,
What do you
you
mean
know,
a problem?
kids have failed and then we didn't have enough to put a team. So I think coaches need to pay attention to that. Can parents still look at the portal and see what their kids
Absolutely,
doing?
yes. Getting grades in a timely manner, because we are accountable not only to the students, but to the parents that. I know that, you know, we set a grade threshold alert where I can see that if I have a kid that gets a grade below an 80, it'll see me. So. Parents' nights.
That's been a problem in the past. Parents have checked and there weren't any bad grades or any missing and then like that
The last
Friday and that
week.
Monday. And so parents could have, you know, on some of their part, they would have been on.
Well,
that.
what was heartbreaking, it was like a 69, stuff like, or 68, 69, it was by a point or two. And it's like, hey, no one even told me. So I'm assuming, like you said, you've got a threshold set where we're
Well,
keeping
and
it,
that's-
and not just athletes, but any, I mean,
Yeah,
even.
I say that's for my children
Yeah.
in my home.
Oh, okay.
But as far as accountability, we even had to talk about it we've talked about in the last 2 weeks out on the football field about how we're accountable, how we're a part of this. And that's something that we need to do. You know, that's what.
And not just athletes. I mean, I hate to say any kid, you know, I mean, they assume some responsibility. Obviously, they're young adults, but, you know, come in there with a 68 or 69, let's, you know, I think that the teacher should be heavily involved and get in touch with the parents. If they're that close, hey, let's get them over the finish line here, you know, so they don't come into the semester with a failing grade.
The good thing is most of these coaches, I mean, all of the coaches are teachers or their wives are
Right.
teachers. So we've got basically
Okay.
everything covered by coaches and their wives where, I mean, it's going to be hard, right, for a kid to not know what's
I
going
hope
on.
so.
I hope so too, because like she said, it's happened in the past where.
Something that's been really good for me is I'm CC'd in a lot of these emails that are contacts to parents that are talking about their students missing work. But
Awesome.
y'all have done this long enough to know that there are sometimes those phone calls that never get addressed. There's emails that never get read, and there are students that are not held accountable once they leave our building at 3:30. And as much as it breaks all of our heart, I can't grade or assess work that I don't ever receive back. We have students that have been gone. They're coming in the doors at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're getting stuff done. I've had students just in my own classroom that I've had to take and have lunch detention because we won't get work in. But it depends on, we're asking teachers to take their 30-minute given lunchtime or before school, before duty, to ask them to do more and more and more when the state is already requiring so much of them. So a lot of times we're going to put it in the student's hand and say, this is it. Put it in the parent's hand and say, here are the opportunities I'm giving your child. And at some point, it's got to be up to them and how that bears out. We hope that there's a cultural change in this community where it's not okay to watch your son or daughter fail. But I mean, we're going to do our part in.
Our monthly coaches meeting is 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening. So I'll address all of that with every coach. And they know coaches are great teachers. But we'll reiterate that. And I don't know, I gotta keep doing that. There should be no surprises.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Repeat. Got anything? That's what you put on there? Okay.
I had a question, and you said we may need to get a few more laptops to replace the older ones at high school. Do you know how many that's gonna be or what the cost?
So it's all.
It is gonna be in the budget?
Probably up 6-7 people that probably need a laptop. So,
Okay.
and they have technology budget for that, so.
And then in the last paragraph, when you talked about money, into general fund or just computers. Yeah, or-
Our budget, it's part of our. The
Okay,
expenditures.
Like that $36,000 that kind of.
Mhm.
This year, usually hit this year, but for some reason they send. Now, after next September, it should be about 52,000. That should
Mhm.
be. Hopefully after September, that should be also. with a discount. That's pretty much, with technology, everything. Got a bunch of computer everywhere, like now we have like more than 100 computers that teachers that we using in classroom
Okay,
everywhere. We have 150 or more computers in the lab.
awesome.
This learning and whatnot, those hardwired. If we do online testing, that's what it can be doing.
And I did see you updated the then, or in week, so that is, you think, better than what we had before and
That Wi-Fi is, it's a ubiquity. We have 60 of them. All the way to 3 pretty much everywhere.
okay,
They should be good for the next 2 months. I need that like a year ago. So the technology is able to find the signal and
okay.
upgrade it to find. So unless you have any place, just pretty much just get like 250 Chromebook, we like 1-to-1. We can Chromebook everywhere. We got more than 140 iPad that we still in hand. They're using it every day for what they need in the classroom. So internet upgrade from 1 gig to 5 gig, that's kind of bandwidth for everybody. Probably have the fastest internet in the plane now. When they were actually have less of a gig, we have 5 gig. So we do good stuff.
When you get to come back over here.
It's man of people. Yes, sir.
Are we through with him? I'm not. I'm gonna have him fix my.
Oh.
Now, okay. Where'd Joe go? Okay, you got anything, Joe?
I don't have anything that I didn't, other than, like to thank Joe Gilbert. He and Mickey volunteered to put some time in at football field for that new rail on the Leaning fence, the top rail. Joe bought the materials with the paint, he and Mickey went out there and installed it all
So Mickey did it.
and painted it. I saw Joe running the drill. He was holding the place.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for?
Oh, well, so I saw in his report about the devil burrs. And y'all have had a problem with those before on the baseball field. And so, is that the only thing we can do is dig them out by hand?
That's how we got rid of it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you can spray them, but they don't like us.
Right now, there's not any, I found them all. Cause I learned what they looked like years ago. It took about 3 years to get it on top of all of it. Like Terry said, we tried spraying them, they ended up killing the plants around them, and they just thrive. It burned them back, and they come back twice as strong as before.
Good job. I had to make it better. Okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, we'll move on through maintenance report. There's no more questions for Joe. We'll move on to the action items. Considering possible action to approve resolution regarding extracurricular status of the 4-H program organization. It's something that we do every year so that our 4-H kids get guidance and stuff, and they do it through the A&M County Extension.
So they got to be passed in. There'll be an excused absence signed off by the principal. All schools do this, and it's when our kids miss school for 4-H type activities. So A and B are tied together there. That's what those two things are.
So do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution and approve it for the 4-H organization.
Okay, the resolution, I will read it. It's extracurricular status of 4-H organization. Be it hereby resolved that upon this date, the duly elected Board of Trustees of Floyd Independent School District, meeting in public with a quorum present and certified, did adopt this resolution that recognizes Fannin County, Texas 4-H organization as approved for recognition and eligibility for extracurricular status, considering under 19 Texas Administrative Code 76.1 pertaining to extracurricular activity. Participation by 4-H members under provisions of this resolution are subject to all rules and regulations set forth under the 19 Texas Administration Code as interpreted by this board and designated officials of this school district. Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension will request regardless if the school or center is not required. Purposes. Required. So, Sandy did it.
No.
Brian, you Sandy did it. Yeah. Brian, you got it. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Brian to consider and take action on approving the resolution regarding the extracurricular status for each organization. All those in favor? 6-4, none opposed. The next is considering possible action to approve adjunct the faculty agreement for the county extension agents.
That should be the next page and it's
That's
just,
the next page.
it's all tied together.
All right, do I hear a motion?
We approve the adjunct faculty agreement for the county extension agents.
Do I hear a second? Brian. Motion made by Sandy, seconded by Brian. To accept the adjunct faculty agreement of the county extension agents. Any further questions? All those in favor? 6-4, none opposed. Consider possible action for school district to pay for athletic meals for all away games.
I didn't know this, guys, and they wouldn't want me saying it. But when we went to our first football scrimmage or an away game, it was a scrimmage, I think. Daniel and Jacob, I mean, they just get the cards out and they just bought the kids meals. We have in the past given them on far road trips, given them $10 cash or something like that. But to me, it's the right thing to do, and our coaches should not spend their money. Buying our kids food. Coaches do that all the time anyway. It shouldn't be every, in my opinion. So I am asking if we can pay for our students, we can pay in our schools. Because we're doing it right now a little bit. Like concessions stand meals, obviously the cheapest way possible. Concession stand, feed them at the football field, feed them wherever. So that's the route we're trying to go right now.
What's the booster club doing?
I don't think, we can't buy, we're doing meals, we're doing snack packs for away games before, like Carrie Jo used to do. That's all we've done. And we're doing meals on home games, which they're not paying for home games before the games. We're about having volunteers, different volunteers. The Davises did it last week, chicken quesadillas or something, I think. And we're doing pizza this week.
Are we talking about kids and teachers too?
Kids and coaches, yes, sir.
We also need to keep in mind, if you're gonna do it for the athletics, I don't think you need to limit the athletics. If you're gonna do it for athletics, it needs to go to robotics, it needs to go to ag, it needs to go to any away thing.
You're right. I didn't just say, I'm sorry, I should say.
If you do it for one, you gotta do it for all.
But when you call somebody quick pizza, we can get a large pizza for $7 with 3 toppings. The kid can split 2 kids. So you're feeding a kid for $4 roughly, $3.50, $4.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we take and okay it for the school district to pay for extracurricular. I will make amendment to that.
Do we want to put a dollar limit to it? Do we want to put?
Yes,
Current policy $10 per kid and.
I thought we did, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I thought that was already set by policy.
rarely is it $10.
We keep it at that.
We keep. Anyway, I make a motion that we pay for all extracurricular out of town meals for the students and the teachers that take them.
I second it.
Might want to move your dollar limit to like $12.
Yeah. I was thinking about
every
it.
day.
Me too.
Even Jack-
$10 is pretty.
At that Allen school that we went to at the first game, those barbecue sandwiches were $12.
But booster
Everybody.
clubs will cut schools, because we're buying a whole lot of them, so they'll give us a better.
Okay.
Better
They'll,
deal.
yes, if you call.
But I
and
know
say,
we were all
It's like, man,
complaining, we
Thinking
didn't.
about that touchdown days.
Shit like Chick-fil-A.
Better be McDonald's or Taco Bell.
So we'll.
Thank y'all for-
we've got a motion, I made the motion, Sandy seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? 6-4, none opposed. Thank you. That is for extracurricular, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what I.
The coaches themselves paid for the first game.
Daniel and Jacob did.
Well. Helen, thank you very much. Daniel's still here. I appreciate that, but yeah, they shouldn't have to do that.
Come to doing that behind my back. Okay, consider and possible action to approve the resolution adopting Fannin County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
I'm gonna pass this off to the expert over here. I know this is CJ. We talked last week, so I'll.
Hi, my name is CJ Durban Higgins. I'm with the Texoma Council of Governments, or TCOG, as many people know it as. I'm here because someone came here probably about this time, well, probably last June, about a year ago. And you signed a memorandum of understanding that you would partner with us as we went through the process of updating the hazard mitigation plan. And it does cover every school district in Fannin County and every jurisdiction, every city, and then also the county. This is important because it allows you to apply for grants through FEMA. We did have a recent award that was given to Sam Rayburn ISD, where they used that money to build a tornado safe room on their campus. It can be a dual use room. So that just, if you have this plan approved by FEMA, which it was approved at the end of July. And so we're coming to you to officially adopt the plan as your hazard mitigation plan. It covers natural hazards. Mostly it's like flooding, tornado, winter storm. We went through the actions that you would put in there. You're not obligated to do any of those actions. It's just one of those, like, if we had the money, we would do this. And some of the things many school districts go ahead and include, they just do it automatically. There's some real like public information, teaching students about water conservation or, drought tolerance, those types of things. But it does allow the school district, should they choose to go for one of these grants, to be able to apply. So that's basically what we're coming to try to get that resolution passed. And that's why I'm here tonight. Anybody have any questions?
So it's no cost to us.
No.
Okay.
Well, if you get a grant, FEMA is pretty much all the FEMA grants are a 25-75 split, which means the jurisdiction is on the hook for 25% of the total of the project, but that can be in kind and also cash match. So for instance, I'm going to leave these forms. Fannin County got a grant to update their plan. This is the third iteration of the plan for Fannin County. We included the school districts last time, and then we included them this time so that they could go apply for something like a safe room. And so basically, Fannin County is collecting, if you spent time looking at that plan, if you'll document that for us, that goes toward the 25% match. If you did decide to get a grant, you could have like the county could come and help you with electric poles or pad, doing a pad for the actual building. So there are ways to get the money. You're not having to pay 25%.
I'm sorry, I was just asking me.
It's just adopting the plan.
Because this is my second year to be on, but I don't remember us talking about it last year, so.
What does all these shelters cost? For the house or put
I
80
think,
kids in?
I think the total amount of the grant that Sam Rayburn got was right a little less than $1 million. And they went ahead and went with a cash match. So, but I know a lot of lots of Oklahoma that have safe rooms. It's dual purpose room. They've often used them for a music room. One school used it to build a cafeteria for the kids, not the cooking part of it, but the seating of the kids. They want you to be able to move furniture out of the way so you can get all the kids. So specifications, but there's even one up in Oklahoma that used it to build a small athletic room for the weather days, especially for the elementary school kids. So they have a place to run around and get out some of that energy they are so good, so fond of. So there are many uses that you can have for this. I will say Sam Raven used theirs for fan for a music room.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I am gonna leave these here. If you spent time reading that plan, if you can write down the. We have about 90 days to get resolutions passed by all of the jurisdictions. And this time around, we had 100% participation to work on the plan. All of the school districts and Fannin County. So we were very pleased about that.
Okay. At this time, I'll read the resolution. It's a resolution adopting the jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. Whereas the county of Fannin, Texas, with the assistance of local jurisdictions and Texoma Council of Governments, TCOG, has gathered information, prepared the Fannin County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan, and whereas Fannin County Multi-Jurisdictional Plan has been prepared in accordance with FEMA requirements 44 CFR 201.6, and whereas the School Board of Savoy Independent School District of Texas is a local unit of government that has afforded the citizens an opportunity to comment and provide input in the Fannin County multi-jurisdictional mitigation plan. School District of Texas has reviewed the Fannin County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan and affirms that the plan will be reviewed and revised as appropriate. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Savoy Independent School Districts of Texas, hereby officially adopt the Fannin County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution adopting the Fannin County multi-jurisdictional hazard. Motion made by me, seconded by Joe to resolution. Any further discussion? In favor? 6-4, none opposed. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. See you later. Now we go in superintendent's report.
Wendell, you want to kick us off?
Sure.
Come on, man.
Don't mind, I won't sit over there. There's more pictures up there.
Set on the other side of Marvin.
Oh, I'm not
I
gonna
won't
do
want you there by car.
that. I'm not gonna get your gun.
So this number here is to replace the whole roof on the whole high school? Or
No,
just
sir,
that?
just the gym and the foyer of the gym. And I have to give your maintenance department credit. They, most school districts, that's a white membrane. I would not have sold the original school as a white membrane because of it's by the street, it's more tilted, it gets dirty. You are the only school district. I deal with 550 school districts out of 1,200 in southern state of Texas. You're the only one I've seen power wash it almost every year. And so your maintenance department needs a kudos on that. They're taking care of it by power washing your reflectivity. So when you have the dust layer over there, it's not as reflective. So your maintenance department is saving you money also. I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Any questions for Wendell? Anything at all?
Okay, so that roof or what you're proposing is gonna go over the roof and
Yes,
it's gonna be
ma'am.
flat.
Correct.
Okay.
So you have your channels that was on the picture.
Mhm.
And so you have to fill those in and it makes it's shaped like that roof. And then you can't put the sheet over the top of that because the metal ribs would deteriorate the membrane underneath by rubbing. So you have to put a hard recovery board over the top of that, a 4x8 sheet, like a heavy cutting board. And then you put the membrane over the top of that. And the membrane that we propose has a severe hail rating system to it, a class A fire rating.
But the runoff from that wouldn't mess up the old roof for the rest of the school or anything?
No, ma'am,
I guess.
you are tilted away from that old part.
Okay,
And so it runs into the drains. So what you have to do is you have to cut back the rake edge, which the rake edge is, if you're coming over. Back to the gutter. Try it straight into the gutter.
Okay.
So that way the water goes in your gutter, if the ball gets up there, Gatorade bottle, and it clogs your drain up, it comes back up on the roof and it doesn't go between your roof edge and the wall.
So as far as the way it would look, I mean, really, we wouldn't be able to, but would it be flush looking or would we not even be able to tell the difference?
It's gonna look exactly like the rest of the school.
Okay. Okay, like it does. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
you said that. Yeah, okay.
Y'all have got more colors than they used to have.
We have a lot of colors.
See, used to, they didn't have that many colors. When we bought this, I don't remember them having it because I have been on here. I've been on here 27 years, so I know.
Okay, there probably weren't colors. No.
We had white. I think we had white and gray.
So now you have all, so this price right here, the 226, 228.
Appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
So, COVID-19 protocols and it's in the scouts. Meeting Wednesday afternoon, and this is the nurse and the principals, we need to update this. What we're hoping for is that we can adjust it just a little bit. And we're gonna look at schools in our area, how much control they have, where it's if you're positive, stay home. If you just have the symptoms, if you feel bad, stay home. But if you don't, you can come to school, no fever, anything like that, where we're gonna kind of, I don't want to say let go just a little bit, but I'll include that in my weekly update that I send you guys on Friday. Eduphoria updates with them on Friday. Now, this is where we're uploading data, where we're doing walkthroughs, where we're getting data on teachers, students, where we're doing a whole lot of business in there. And we were really talking about teacher goals, principal goals, superintendent goals, templates for walkthroughs, and uploading data for our kids. So that is, again, thank you guys so much for allowing us to get that. I'm going to skip the district and campus improvement plan for a second. We'll come back to it. I get to brag on Denise here. We get to brag on Denise here. Preliminary first report. We got 100 out of 100, correct, Denise? So that's A+++. Our financial rating, very good. And then we had our audit on August 29th. This is the first one that I've been involved in. Those guys are a whole lot smarter than I am. And man, they were just like numbers blowing my mind. We have out of all of the, just put all of this stuff together and multiply it times 100. They said, we're looking at six things. We have covered or budgeted something wrong. Not 6 out of the whole year. And it was one number off. So it should have been 191, maybe it was 192 or something. It was very, very minor. And he said other schools would have, how many pages did he say they would have? Pages and pages and pages. We had 6 items. So thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Pugh, I appreciate it. Texoma Builders, the door project we're doing, their start date is coming up quickly. I'm gonna nail that, confirm it tomorrow. Hopefully everything will be here by Halloween. They're gonna start at the high school and then the ag shop and then the field house, and then they'll finish here at the elementary. Like Daniel said earlier, UIL, we're gonna host both zones. We're also gonna host the UIL or the district golf tournament this year. We're gonna do that at Webb Hill in Wolf City.
Whoa. You never played.
I have played it. I like it, man. I like it. So hopefully we'll drum up interest in golf. I had about 5 or 6 extra sets of clubs laying around the house that Marissa wanted me to get rid of. So we've donated them up here. So now, so our kids will be outfitted with clubs now. So we want to get them playing. First time superintendent academy. Again, thank you guys for letting me go. Every time I go there, I'm sitting next to the superintendent of Austin ISD, and then, Austin ISD, Savoy ISD, and we're learning the same thing and taking the same notes and hearing from the same speakers. He's applying it to his kids. We apply it to our kids here. A really cool thing, they offer coaching sessions where they put brand new guys like myself with tenured superintendents. This is a brand new program they're rolling out, but really, really tenured superintendents, whether it's a 6-man school or a 6A school. They charge $5,000 for it. I got chosen as a recipient to not pay. So basically a $5,000 scholarship to learn from some of the best and brightest. I got paired up with Dr. Rue. She is most recently the retired superintendent of Northwest ISD in the Metroplex, where Dr. David Hicks from Sherman just went to before he passed away. So, but guys, you're investing in me, and I appreciate it so much because I can invest in our principals and our teachers, and they can invest in our kids.